Well people, one of the biggest problems that faces any flat hole in the wall. A good night out on the old Terps the night before, stagger home, put elbow through wall, on way to bed. So this very short little YouTube clip is designed to assist you in getting your bond back from the landlord or getting back in favour with the wife. Step 1, here is the hole. We'll now step you through what we're going to do. The first step is to sort of roughly mark out a square around the hole. Then you want to cut that hole out. We recommend you find yourself a jigsaw, pretty cheap, from any hardware, and you'll attack. My assistant now will demonstrate how to get this hole cut out. Cut into the corners, cut down a little bit. The jigsaw's got a point on the end which makes life really easy for cutting in. Once you've got a start, life becomes quite easy. If you haven't got a jigsaw, you can use a Stanley knife, but the problem with the Stanley knife is it can also cut you in the process.
Or you can use a bread knife.
Or, failing that, as my able assistant says, a bread knife while the wife is away. Okay, as you can see now we've got a squarish hole. Don't have to be too precise, but it's cleaned out. But he has got rid of any of the rough overhang on the front and also on the back. Now the trick is, you find yourself a bit of old jib, any old jib that's been lying around in the house. It doesn't matter how pretty it is because it's all going to be painted over. But you need a piece of jib that is twice the size of the hole, the square hole you've cut. So just measure it and then hack off a bit as rough as you can see here. Then put the odd bit of jib you found onto something nice and firm, and then grabbing the straight edge, score down a straight line. So that you've got, basically you're going to cut out the square. As you can see, just score it using a knife, nice and straight, nice and easy. Only needs a couple, then you'll find you'll be able to break that in half. Now when you've broken it in half, you'll see that you can peel the paper off the jib. So the bit you want has got the edge and the paper attached. You'll see this in the finished job we've done for you. Okay, now we've got the piece of jib and we've done all the edges of it, and as you'll see that the edge and the paper is all attached. Now the next trick you do before you go any further is make sure it fits in the hole firmly. As you can see, it goes in and the paper will hold it there while we paste it all into place. Look at that, absolutely ripper. Okay, so when we've got that, we then take it out again, and we're now going to mix up some rapid set plaster, which you can buy from any hardware store in small containers, and ladle it into the edges here, as you'll see in our next step. Having made up the plaster, it's now time to get a little bit round the holes. Now as you'll see, we put it in the hole and pull down. That's it, we don't play with it. Up the top, don't play with it, but make sure you get enough in so that it's going to fill the holes and make a bond. You can see spreading it out from the holes. Very nice waterfall effect is achieved there. The reason you pull it out from the holes is, remember, we've got that paper surround we showed you that's got to go and get glued down. So you put a reasonable amount round the outside of the hole, not playing with it, nice and leverage. And the big thing is to make sure you get plenty in the actual crack. So in the hole, you'll put some more plaster into the hole itself in a second, and that's it, it's getting it in all the way around, because that's actually got to make the bond. Right. Okay, as you can see, we've got a good layer around that hole now. Now, my assistant has now got the spare bit, and he's, as you can see, I'll just bring the camera down to him to make life easy. There we are, he's feathering again on the bit of board we cut out with the paper backing. and then he's going to, hopefully we've got it round the right way, which is always a trying thing to do. Puts it into the hole, and now working from the centre, he's going to work all the air bubbles out and make sure it bonds down. This is a trick. Now remembering, when you're doing this, that paper's going to get soggy as you're working, so don't overwork it. Just a little bit more plaster on there. Okay, and there we go. We've got a nicely patched up hole. Now all we've got to do is let that dry off, and then we'll be able to put a plaster coat over the top and do a nice finish on the job.
Not sand this.
Okay, in front of us now, as you can see, we've managed to put a layer of the fast set over the top of that, work down. Now remembering, you can't sand this coat, so you've got to be quite careful with your broad knife to bring that nice and even, and all you've got to do from there is get a nice fine match over the top. But if you've got that far, I'm sure the landlord and the wife will be talking once more to you. So just a little bit of finishing work to go there and job's done. Now if you've got any queries, contact any of the team at Faculty of Technology and Built Environment. They're more than happy to discuss your problems. Cheers.